The Oak Matrix Unleashed, Chapter 27, The Dynamics of Dreams, introduces a perspective on sleep that completely dismantles the idea of the night as a passive resting state, suggesting instead that we are navigating a literal magnetic circuitry where every vision shifts our place in the universe. Bandel posits that dreams aren't internal movies, but active exchanges of vitality, where the images we choose are actually drawing energy from real people across invisible astral cords. It's a concept that reframes a simple dream about a friend into a living interaction that can actually leave one person energized and the other subtly drained, depending on the outcome of the encounter. This chapter highlights how these magnetic flux lines connect us to a shared dream web, forming a resonant circuit between our physical reality and the astral plane that can even impel major historical events when the current is strong enough.
It really flips the script on traditional psychology. Most of us are taught, following Freud or Jung, that dream figures are just projections or archetypes, internal parts of our own psyche. But in the Oak Matrix, Bandel argues we're actually picking people to symbolize our issues because their real-life essence provides the necessary voltage for the dream. If you're battling someone in a dream, you aren't just wrestling with a shadow, you're engaged in a real energy exchange. According to the text, if you win that confrontation, you wake up feeling a surge of vitality because you've essentially actually won a transfer of magnetic energy. The other person might wake up feeling unexplainably tired. It sounds predatory, but Bandel frames it as a natural, almost hydraulic flow within this shared magnetic field.
That idea of a hydraulic or magnetic flow seems to be the bridge to his technical breakdown of the resonant circuit. He describes the physical world as capacitive, like a battery that stores charge, and the dream world as inductive, meaning it generates current through movement and change. When these two interact, you get this massive flow of energy that he calls the tank current. This isn't just about personal feelings. He claims that at critical moments in history, the pressure in the dream world becomes so intense that it forces events to manifest in the physical world. It makes dreams feel less like a side effect of sleep and more like the engine room of reality.
Exactly. And he uses the metaphor of the oak tree to explain how we manage this. You have the individual trunk, which is your personal dream experience, but it's connected to this massive forest-wide mycorrhizal network of shared energies. This is the masculine and feminine duality he talks about, the personal focus versus the collective web. These astral cords he mentions aren't just temporary. They're like permanent underground cables. A recurring dream about an ex-partner, for instance, isn't necessarily a sign to call them. Bandel suggests it's often the process of finally severing one of those massive astral cords that has been siphoning energy for years. It's technical maintenance for the soul.
I'm struck by the idea of astral cords as permanent threads. If every significant relationship or unresolved issue creates a magnetic flux line, we're walking around with thousands of invisible wires connected to us. It explains that pressure people feel when someone is thinking of them intensely. It's a literal pull on the cord. Bandel even mentions that animals can sense when they're being stared at because they're tuned into these magnetic awareness shifts. But if these cords are permanent, how do we prevent ourselves from being completely drained by people from our past who might still be plugged into our circuitry?
That's where the empowerment aspect comes in. The text is very clear. An ineffective dream life, where you're always a victim or failing at tasks, is a mirror for real-world blocks. To fix it, you have to consciously intervene. He suggests a nightly affirmation. My dreams empower my reality. This isn't just positive thinking. It's about setting a command for your consciousness to win those astral exchanges. If you can start winning the battles in the inductive dream world, you're building up the charge in your capacitive physical body. You're effectively upgrading your cables from thin wires to high-voltage lines, which makes you more influential and vital in your waking life.
The idea that winning in a dream translates to physical influence is a bit provocative.
It suggests a sort of astral survival of the fittest. Is it truly a loving embrace of duality if the mechanics involve drawing energy from others? It feels a bit like a zero-sum game. If I wake up energized because I defeated someone in a dream and they wake up drained, doesn't that imply a conflict-based reality rather than the harmonious one Bandel usually champions?
It's a fair challenge, but Bandel's loving embrace refers to the balance between the need for individual containment and the reality of universal connection. He's not saying we should go out and hunt people in their sleep. He's saying that when we engage with others, an exchange happens. The conflict in the dream is a reflection of a mismatch or a boundary issue in the physical. By resolving it in the dream, you stop the leak. It's more like two magnets finding their proper orientation. Once the cord is severed or the power dynamic is balanced, the draining stops. It's about achieving sovereignty within a shared system. Much like an oak tree doesn't steal from the forest, it participates in a nutrient exchange that keeps the whole ecosystem healthy.
He provides several practical tools to help manage this, like the cord journal and the resolution ritual. The most interesting one to me is the circuit flow exercise. You're supposed to meditate on feeling a magnetic current moving through your body, then focus on a specific problem and envision an empowering dream that resolves it. It's essentially pre-programming the resonant circuit. By the time you fall asleep, you've already aligned your physical capacitor to receive the right kind of inductive energy. It transforms sleep from a roll of the dice into a targeted exercise in self-actualization.
And the partner energy check is crucial too. It suggests that if two people are close, their astral cords are essentially zipped together across all 118 levels of the astral planes. Bandel links these to the chemical elements, which is a whole other layer of his theory. In a healthy relationship, this current flows smoothly back and forth. But if there's a blockage, one person might start acting as a sink, constantly pulling charge without returning it. Doing an energy check means looking at your dreams for those drain signals and using rituals to clear the lines. It's essentially spiritual plumbing.
It's fascinating how he links the atomic and the astral, mentioning those 11-18 levels, one for each element, suggests that our dream life is actually a highly structured exploration of the very building blocks of matter. When we dream, we aren't leaving reality. We're diving into the reciprocal universe of time-space that mirrors our space-time. If a change happens there, the tank current ensures it manifests here. This is why dreams can feel prophetic. They aren't seeing the future, they're seeing the circuitry shifts that haven't reached the physical light bulb yet.
That's a great analogy. The prophecy is just the current traveling through the wire before the filament starts to glow. Bandel's conclusion is really an invitation to stop being a passive observer of our subconscious. If the universe is a shared resonant circuit, then our individual focus is the dial that determines how much power we can handle and where we direct it. By treating dreams as active adjustments, we're no longer just victims of fate or bad nights of sleep. We're conscious participants in a cosmic engine.
It moves the goalpost from interpreting dreams to directing them for vitality and purpose. If every night is an opportunity to forge stronger cords, sever draining ones, and recharge our physical bodies, then sleep becomes perhaps the most productive part of our day. The Oak Matrix suggests that by embracing this duality, the solitary dreamer and the collective web, we can turn a basic biological necessity into a tool for total empowerment. It's a bold vision of human potential that starts the moment we close our eyes. Share this exploration with anyone who's ready to wake up to the power of their sleep.